How's the money changed, Tommy? Because, I'm out there looking for money all the time, just like you are for the shows that we do. And for all of our, our C-suite radio podcast, our TV, advertisers, sponsors, that. How's the money changed? Is it bigger, less than it used to be? Is it easier? Is it harder?
Yeah, the money's changed. It's gotten so fragmented because of streaming, and it's not like it used to be. I mean, in syndicated television, we made so much money. It was just a different world because you didn't have streaming. And it's kind of like the music business, right? It all just kind of went away with streaming. And so I'm a little nervous that's what's going to happen with television. We have to work so much harder, and our syndicated dollars, the advertisers, give us maybe 20%, 25% of what we got. We have to go to market very much like you guys, and y'all are doing it right because you have all the platforms. You got to cover broadcast, streaming, social. You have to give that advertiser a complete package just to eke out that little bit of dollar that you used to get, right? It's a lot more work, and then now you throw AI in the mix, and it's just got everything upside down.
Well, now the advertisers are looking for more than just eyeballs and ears. They're looking for hearts and minds. They're looking for conversions. They want reach, they want discovery, and then they want conversions. They want to see it down to the bottom line. And that's changed the game a great deal. And of course, streaming has changed that. Now we're talking about all this AI stuff. Let's talk about that for just a second. How much do you think that's going to change? I actually had somebody approach me that I could start doing my speeches now in AI, and I never even have to do them. I just feed the script in, and it creates this digital avatar, which it looks exactly like me. Now I get what, actors are concerned about.
No, seriously. And I've probably done 100 interviews over the last month on this whole actor strike and AI and my feeling on it. If the world is going to change, and as a 4-decade-old actor and personality on television, we're limited. I have a 19-year-old son and a 17-year-old son that are great actors. Their career may not happen just because of AI. Now, that's part of the strike. That's what we're doing. We're saying, listen, you have to use actors. But right now, today, there are atmosphere actors, the extras, getting scanned by Disney, and they don't even know what they're getting scanned for. I said, well, why are you getting scanned? Say no. They pay you $180 and it's going to be over. Your career as an atmosphere person is over. And that's, technology is moving so fast, Jeff. And guys that are the first that's going to happen are talking heads, right? The news guys. Why would, the news stations, they're watching those pennies. Why would they pay a guy $500,000 a year when they can create an avatar and just type the news in? They already type it in. He just reads it. You know what I mean? So the next transition is going to be actors. And no matter what contract we do, the rest of the world, the Sonys and everybody's going to move overseas and go, yeah, we don't care about SAG-AFTRA. There's going to be a guy at a desk, and he's going to script out. He's going to say, make me a John Waters cool teen movie, and give me a flavor of Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Jeffrey Hayzlett. And they're going to create these actors, and Meryl Streep, right, as a young kid. And there you go, and it's going to create the film. And there's no need for actors, producers, directors, makeup artists, truck drivers. All the whole industry is going to change. And people are going, no, it could never change. I promise you, give it 15 years, it's over for us. We're going to fight, and we may get this contract, but it doesn't mean the other actors around the world, these other places, I say actors, bad actors that are going to make films without real actors, they're going to do it. Of course, they're going to do it because they can do it for nothing.
Tommy, you've been talking on the national news a little bit about fractional credits, I think, around AI. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I came up with an idea. I mean, it's not new. Why can't we do this with AI? So the thought is, just like blockchain, the guys that write the code for AI, and if our legislators would force them to do this, why couldn't, when that guy that writes the key says, listen, let's make me this film, it goes out and gets the nuances from all, say from Ernest Hemingway, right? And it goes and gets a nuance or something from Al Pacino. It should put down markers, just like blockchain. And why can't it come back, and when it finishes this document or the film, it gives everybody fractional credits? It's just like us as babies, right? We're born with nothing in our brains. We're just learning. And when we win the Super Bowl, what does the guy do? Holds up the trophy and goes, I want to thank mom. I want to thank dad. I want to thank my coach. I want to thank God. He's rattling off everybody that gave him influence in his life. Well, AI is the same thing. It goes out there and gets this influence. Why can't it give us credit when it takes the words from your mouth or takes nuances from Jeffrey Hayzlett's, spoken words? And when it produces something, it should give those fractional credits. And that's the way to monetize it. And it doesn't seem like that's a hard thing to do if it's just coded when they create that AI program. So anyway, I've been writing about it, and that's what I've been talking about.
Well, for one thing, it's going to be different. It's a changing landscape. I was talking and reflecting to a lot of people on one of our Scotch Sunday events that we host every single week. And I just said, this has been like the music industry. You're going to see the creators lose control of a lot of things, but gain control is in some ways, but it's just leveling the landscape and going to change it dramatically. And for those of us who are making a living at it, you better get ready, change, adapt, or die, right? That's the way it's going to be for this business.
Seriously, I hate to say.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. And, whenever there's volatility, there's also opportunities too. So you got to be looking for that. Even in crises, like an economic crisis, there's businesses that do very well, some that do very poor, but there's always a changing landscape. So your current venture is To the Rescue, and it seems like a significant transition from shows like Cheaters, obviously. So what prompted this shift, and can you tell us what drew you to the project?
Of course. And, I've always loved animals and pets, and I've always had dogs. I didn't understand the importance of it, but until later in my life, as an actor on television, I get a lot of great requests. And I remember my publicist called me and said, Tommy, the SPCA would like you to go to Florida because you're an actor and you can bring cameras and a couple other celebrities and do a big rescue because they had a big hurricane. And so, which was an amazing moment. And then they said, listen, would you be interested in hosting our telethon with Betty White? And I went, are you kidding me? Of course.
Wow.
And so Betty really changed everything. And I learned so much about rescue. And we had long talks, and she really taught me the importance of animals in our lives. And so many years later, I went to dinner, and a friend of mine's wife was a rescuer, and she's telling me these stories. I said, okay, it's time. I use my platform of millions of people around the country and the world to help these animals. It would be so important. And my first call was to Betty, and I said, Betty, I'm developing a show called To the Rescue. We're going to go rescue dogs. And she was so excited. And this was around 2016, 17, somewhere in there. And she goes, I'll do whatever you want me to do. I can't really travel much. But I said, it doesn't matter. We're filming. You've got to see this. So the most important thing for me is that she knew I was doing the show, because after a year and a half, when we finally got the show fully distributed and ready to go, and I reached out to Betty and I didn't get an answer. And her assistant called and said, Tommy, she can't, she's sick right now. And so everything changed. But that was the reason I got it and started, and I always had a love for it. I just didn't realize, Jeff, how it would change my life. When I got deep into it and going to these rescues and meeting all these amazing people around the world, and the good they do for animals, and then how animals change our lives personally, it just affected me and everybody in it. If you rescue or you foster or you even just your family pet, right? Just watching how, it changed. They bring so much light to our lives. I'm in deep, and it's the best work out of 45 years I've ever done.
Do you have a favorite pet yourself?
Well, listen, I love my dogs, no question. But I love all these animals, and World Elephant Day reached out and they want to partner and do it to the rescue for the elephants. There's nothing more I'd rather do. And we're planning all these to the rescue specials and shows about horses and the things that are happening out there with horses. And we love our cats. We do huge transports of kitty cats and dogs. And although to the rescue that's on every week is primarily dogs, but we do help our cats. And, Jeff, from the business side, what's really fascinating that I found is that America, so, it's hard to get advertisers and sponsors. We're always
totally
out there working, correct?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I start this show and these ad agencies are calling me going, listen, Tommy, our clients used to want to rip the throats out of their competition. Now they're going, we want to hug them. We want to be part of we want a better humanity. And that's the best feeling in the world, is making something that people go, you're doing good and you're helping change, give people the insights and change humanity. Let's all, I hate to be cliche, but as John Lennon from the Beatles, he says it so well, let's give peace a chance. Let's love. It was all about, loving our neighbor. And so I feel so warm and fuzzy doing this show. And I hear that from our big sponsors as well.
Yeah, but it's also multi-billion-dollar industry, especially on the dog side, really on all the pet. In fact, now, we tend to refer to our pets as our children. You see a lot of that, a lot of the streaming videos you see, oh, come to mommy, come to daddy. And it's like, that's a little different for me because I'm a little bit more of a ranch kind of guy, farm kind of guy, outdoor guy, and not something I normally would say to a dog, but it's certainly my best friend. Let me ask you about TV a little bit more as we wrap up here over the next couple of minutes. Okay. With the rise of streaming platforms and digital content, how do you see what you're doing in television adapting to those changing preferences of viewers? I mean, because now everybody's consuming it on the most important device there is in the history of the world, and that's been our phone, and we're watching that. How do you think this impacts storytelling and the types of stories being told on television?
So, if we have to embrace the future, right? And embrace this moment in time. And if we don't, we're going to be left behind. So I think it's good. I think it's allowing us to, although the money's different, it's fragmented, but from an artist standpoint, I'm going, this is so great because I can touch individuals and I can create little bits of content, right? I can create a 3-minute bit about whatever story I want to tell. And I love golf, right? So I create golf content and I create my animal content, and it doesn't have to just be pigeonholed, locked down to a half-hour show on broadcast. It's giving us so much more to work with. And from the business side too, I mean, I've created verticals off of To the Rescue. We're launching our To the Rescue pet insurance company in the next 90 days. We're doing a whole product line and we're all mission based. So, you buy a collar, you help save a dog, right? And being able to go down to the individual level and identify those people that really want to watch, these certain content, we can give it to them. We can give it to them in bite size or longer, pieces of content, which is so great.
Which is awesome. And I think a great way to be able to create things. But can we agree on one thing? Can we please tell people to stop creating content in your car? I just can't stand those videos. Those are the videos that I don't like. I don't know about you, Tommy, but you got a camera. You can do so much more with it. You can make great content like Tommy Habeeb. Go do that. That's my advice to everybody that's watching and listening. Tommy, it's been a pleasure having you. Good luck. I don't think you need it because of all the success that you've done, but you've been a very good friend of mine over the years. And I love watching what you do every day. Just be safe. If you go and do another Cheaters, I just want you to be safe. And if you go save those elephants, just stay out of the way.
Oh, I love the elephants and my animals, and I love all our Cheaters fans out there. And I got something special happening here pretty soon, kind of Cheaters-esque.
Okay, well, we'll get you back on All Business with Jeffrey Hayzlett for that. It's been a great pleasure having you on today. Thanks, Tommy.
Thanks, Jeff. Okay.
Hey, at the end of every show, I like to talk about what I learned. And today from Tommy Habeeb, it was a lot of different things in regards to television and digital television streaming and the ever-changing landscape that we see in broadcast and media. But the biggest thing for me today was fractional credits, the ability to be able to be remunerated or at least receive some kind of recognition for the things that we create as thought leaders or as creators. In the ever-changing digital platform, it's important for us to